What if I told you that the bottles you throw away every week could become the most beautiful part of your garden? These aren't just random crafts, these are 5+ stunning totem ideas that bring color, height, and soul to any outdoor space. Welcome to Backyard Fortune. In today's video, we'll explore how to upcycle plastic and glass bottles into bold DIY garden art that's not only eye-catching but surprisingly easy to recreate. This video includes timestamps, so feel free to skip to the projects that inspire you most. And if you have a question or just want to say hi, drop it in the comments below. 1. DIY floating Zen bottle totems for small tranquil gardens. There are moments in life where stillness feels sacred, where silence becomes a companion and simplicity a gift. In a quiet corner of the world, beneath soft dappled light, something begins to bloom not from soil or seed, but from glass, memory, and intention. This isn't just a garden ornament. This is a moment made visible. Look closely at the floating totems. Recycled bottles, once tossed aside, are now filled with echoes of the earth, bark textured like old wisdom, petals as soft as yesterday's sunset, lavender blooms reaching upward like tiny prayers. They rest upon beds of black river stones and glowing moss, each bottle telling a silent story, of walks in the woods, of found beauty, of hands choosing not to throw away, but to transform. And beside them, a bamboo bridge arches gently, like a whisper guiding you across into another world. A white ceramic lantern, minimal and humble, waits patiently as if to say, "Peace lives here." In another scene, a vertical sculpture rises, bottles layered with sea glass and straw, sunflower petals held like sunshine in a jar. Each horizontal bottle feels like a shelf of seasons, spring herbs, summer blooms, the soft blue chill of winter washed into frosted glass. And just nearby, a small water feature trickles without needing to impress, simply being enough. Then finally, suspended like dreams caught in midair, we find a row of hanging bottles. Each contains tiny pine cones and delicate fern leaves resting on colorful sand. They sway with the breeze, like forest wind chimes with no sound, only presence. Tied with jute string and balanced on thin bamboo arms, they remind us, you don't need much to make something beautiful, just what you already have, and the willingness to see with new eyes. Here's a gentle truth. You don't need a large yard. You don't need expensive tools. You only need patience, stillness, and a few glass bottles you've been meaning to toss. To create your own, begin with what's around you: moss, pebbles, petals, bark. Clean the bottles. Fill them with fragments of nature or memory. Let them rest where light can touch them, or hang them where the wind might pass gently through. This is art that doesn't shout. It listens. So before you throw away that next bottle, ask yourself, is there a story inside it, waiting to be told? Because when you build with love and intention, even the smallest piece of trash becomes a treasure. A glowing part of a garden that's not just beautiful, but soulful. Yours. 2. Glow in the dark bottle totems for magical backyard corners. When daylight fades and the garden slips into a hushed lullaby, something quietly begins to awaken. In the soft embrace of twilight, where stars hesitate to appear, recycled bottles begin to glow, not with electricity, but with memory. The first sculpture rises like a beacon beside the pergola. Its bottles, once forgotten vessels, are now ethereal lanterns, frosted and tinted in serene blues, lavender, and golden yellow. Each one stacked carefully on rods, forming a tower of radiance that doesn't shout, but whispers. The surrounding wildflowers bend gently toward it, as if drawn not by heat, but by hope. And just down the path, a new scene unfolds, dozens of glowing bottles leading the way like gentle guardians of a secret garden. Inside them, golden glitter, dried autumn leaves, and warm fairy lights shimmer like fireflies caught in slow motion. They line the curved walkway with patient rhythm, offering light not for function, but for feeling. This isn't illumination, it's invitation. An invitation to wander, to slow down, to see. In a quieter corner still, a trio of bottle totems stands among the ferns. Stacked with balance and grace, they shine in pastel tones, seafoam green, pale violet, sapphire blue. The light isn't bright. It's soft. The kind that makes shadows feel like blankets and gardens feel like stories. There are no filters here. No perfection. Just truth. In glass, in color, in quiet creativity. And here's the beauty. You don't need a grand workshop to bring this to life. Find your old bottles. Wine, soda, any shape that calls to you. Fill them with solar fairy lights, glow powder, or simply a piece of something that means something. A dried petal, a painted pebble, a note from a season you miss. Place them on metal rods or wooden stakes, or let them hang from the rafters of a vine-wrapped pergola. Let them stand where shadows fall, because that's where they shine brightest. This is not about decoration. This is about transformation. Taking what the world calls waste and turning it into a light that lingers long after the sun is gone. So when the night comes again, and your garden grows quiet, let it glow. Not with store-bought lights, but with something you made. Something simple. Something honest. Something beautiful. Three, recycled bottle lanterns with clay base for cozy patios. Some evenings ask for nothing more than stillness, a gentle cup of tea, the golden hush of sunset, and a handmade light glowing just bright enough to remind you that you're home. In the first frame, a wooden pergola stretches its arms over a quiet patio. Suspended from its beams, recycled wine bottles become lanterns, swaying slightly as the breeze drifts through flowering vines. One bottle is hand-painted with bright wildflowers, another wrapped in soft fairy lights. Some cradle flickering candles nestled in upturned clay pots, imperfect, lovely, and warm. Below them, a table awaits, set not with grandeur, but with care. A porcelain teapot, 2 cups, and the kind of peace you can't buy. Step down the path and you'll find a quiet procession. Glass bottle lanterns line a gravel walkway, each one standing tall on a terracotta pot. Inside, golden string lights twist like tiny fireflies, glowing softly as dusk falls. They don't demand attention. They don't sparkle with perfection. But they glow, and that's enough. The path becomes more than a path. It becomes a promise. To take your time, to walk slowly, to notice the glow in things that were once forgotten. And somewhere near the garden wall, among terracotta pots and trailing ivy, 3 more bottles rest. Tall and green, their shapes imperfect and their bases sculpted by hand, the clay still carries fingerprints of whoever shaped it. Inside each, a single candle, its flame steady, its light reflecting off the bottle like old memory. Around them, succulents lean in gently, like silent witnesses to a ritual older than electricity, making light from what we have. And maybe that's the real magic here. These lanterns aren't just decor. They're pauses, invitations, a way to say, I made this. I slowed down. I cared. To recreate this at home, you don't need much. Just your hands, a few bottles waiting for a second life, and clay, store-bought or hand-mold, raw and honest. Add a tea light, or a coil of string light. Hang them with rope. Set them on a pot. Let them catch the sunlight by day and glow by evening. No 2 pieces need to match. Let them tell their own stories. The more mismatched, the more soulful they feel. Because in the end, this kind of beauty isn't about perfection, it's about presence. And when your garden glows with light you made, your evenings feel less like the end of a day, and more like the beginning of a moment worth keeping. 4. Modern rustic bottle totems with natural wood accents. There's something quietly powerful about using what's already around us. A piece of wood, a handful of herbs, a bottle that once held wine at a family table. When these fragments come together, they create more than decoration, they become stories that stand tall. Here, in the dappled sunlight of a garden's edge, a rustic sculpture rises from a block of old wood. Its bottles don't match. They are different colors, different sizes. But that's what makes them beautiful. One holds dried moss and rose petals, another, wildflowers from a passing season. A third balances upside down, like a memory being poured slowly back into the earth. And around them, the mulch is soft, the garden lived in, and a small bird bath sits nearby, reminding us that nature notices everything, even what we leave behind. In another corner, jute string wraps gently around a set of clear glass jars, holding cinnamon bark, bay leaves, straw, cloves. The bottles are nestled on a warm wooden base, and behind them, a bench waits for someone to sit and listen, not just to birdsong, but to the quiet voice of things made slowly. The late afternoon light falls just right. Nothing is filtered, nothing is staged. This is what handmade looks like when no one is trying too hard, simple, tactile, and whole. And among lavender bushes bending in the summer breeze, another totem rises from a weathered tree stump. It's surrounded by the very plants it honors: rosemary, pine cones, twigs, cinnamon. The bottles are tied with twine, but what holds them together isn't just string, it's intention. It's care. It's choosing to preserve what the world says is done, and offering it a second life as art. Here's the secret. You don't need perfect symmetry. You don't need fancy tools. You only need a bottle, some time, and something real to put inside it. Whether that's a flower from your morning walk, a sprig of lavender from your kitchen, or a leaf that reminds you of someone you love. Build slowly. Place them where light falls softly. Let the cracks in the wood, the scratches on the bottle, and the uneven twine speak honestly. This is not mass-produced beauty. This is presence. This is heritage. This is the garden whispering back, "Thank you for not throwing me away." So the next time you hold an empty bottle in your hands, don't just see waste. See potential. See story. See the start of something grounded, real, and quietly magnificent. 5. Rainbow sand bottle totems for vibrant garden edges. Color has a way of entering a garden without knocking. It doesn't need permission. It simply arrives, settles in, and lifts everything around it. And here, in rows of humble bottles filled with layered sand, color sings its quiet, joyful song. In the first scene, bottles stand shoulder to shoulder like a rainbow chorus, each one layered by hand, grain by grain, color by color. Red fades into orange, into yellow, green, blue, and violet. Behind them, marigolds bloom with confidence. Monarch butterflies flutter by as if drawn not only by nectar, but by the harmony of hues. There is no filter here, no gloss, no illusion. Just light bouncing off glass, and a garden smiling back. Elsewhere, in the center of a wild patch of daisies and lavender, a single sand bottle totem rises tall. Each bottle is different in shape, some curvy, others stout, but together they feel united. The colors inside swirl like softened chalk, each layer pressed by patient hands. You can almost feel the morning breeze between the stems. You can almost hear the silence that happens when nature and human creativity meet halfway and nod in agreement. And finally, beside a path that curves gently between basil and thyme, another rainbow rises. This time, the bottles are more precise, their layers crisp, their colors bold. They mark the edge not just of a garden, but of a mindset, one where trash becomes treasure and craft becomes celebration. Here's what makes this special. It's not about art for art's sake. It's about intention. about pausing long enough to sift red sand into a bottle, and smiling as you decide which color should come next. To make your own, start small. Gather some old glass bottles, wine, soda, vinegar, anything with a shape you like. Tint your sand with food coloring or chalk dust. Layer slowly. Don't rush. Each bottle becomes a kind of memory jar, capturing not a moment in time, but the spirit of making. Place them along a walkway, in a garden bed, or even on your windowsill. Let them remind you that color can be quiet and bold at once. That joy doesn't have to be loud to be lasting. And that even the simplest materials, a handful of sand and a bottle you nearly threw away, can become a beacon of beauty in the most unexpected places. Because in the end, you're not just making a rainbow. You're planting one. And in a world that sometimes forgets how to feel wonder, that's no small thing. If this video gave you even one idea you want to try, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a fellow garden lover. At Backyard Fortune, we believe creativity grows best in soil you make yourself. So keep crafting, keep planting, and we'll see you in the next project.